Hey guys, and welcome to yet another episode of One Credit Reviews, where we play an arcade game with only one credit. And with me, as usual, is my trusty companion, Daz. Hey Daz, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's good.
I'm looking forward to this. Some more arcade action. It's been way too long since last episode.
Oh, I know. I missed it.
And we've also got a special guest on today, and we've got Kim Justice here. Hey Kim, welcome.
Hey,
how are you doing?
Good to see you guys. Yeah, doing good, thank you. Hope you guys are well.
Doing very well, mate.
Glad to have you here.
Brilliant. Nah, it should be fun, this.
And the game we're going to have a look at is called Blood Warrior, and it's a Japanese fighting game, and Kim picked it for us. Do you have anything to say about the game?
Thanks, Kim.
So, yes, Blood Warrior. Yes, it's a Kaneko game, and I always think Kaneko games are quite strange, and they have a few weird fighting games, to say the least. They've got the one with Jackie Chan in it, you know, I'm Jackie Chan and this is my game.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can play like about 3 different types of Jackie Chan. They've got other ones. Did they do Kageki as well? Which is
yes, they did.
Really
yeah, that's an older
title.
one. Yeah.
But this one might just be the strangest of their fighting games. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. It's certainly got some odd quirks.
Yeah, For such an early fighting game, the characters are weird. I mean, it gets weird in the 90s with some other games, but this one, yeah, it really nails the weirdness, I would say.
I'd say, you know, when Kim suggested this, I'm like, okay, what is this? I chucked it on, I go, okay, interesting. But you know what? I think there's actually a good game there. Dare I say? I think there's actually a not bad game there.
All right.
Yeah. I was quite surprised.
It has its charms.
Yeah. It's strange.
Have you played this back in the day, Kim, or is it something you found out
this is only
recently?
something that I discovered quite recently. I actually discovered it on a stream. I did like an arcade request night stream, and someone just picked, you should play Blood Warrior. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, I gave it a go, and they were correct. It was very unconventional. Yes. I mean, this came out in 1994, and so it's got kind of a grab bag of various elements from other fighting games that don't necessarily make it the most original game, but the presentation perhaps is a bit more out there. And
it was apparently developed by ATOP, I believe, and as you said, published by Kaneko in 93, 94 or something like that. I'm not sure when it was released in Japan and in the rest of the world.
Yes.
And it's apparently a successor to a 92 arcade game called Shogun Warriors, which is very similar, actually, kind of the same character, the same style, but rather different graphics.
Yeah, this game uses digitized characters, whereas the previous game, as you say, Shogun Warriors, used a pixel, kind of more regulation pixel sprites. It's got mostly, I think, the same characters in. I think there's only one that this game added, if memory serves me right.
Shogun Warriors was also developed by ATOP, so I suppose it makes sense. Maybe they just felt that they needed to update this to make it look a little bit Mortal Kombat-y, which it does. It resembles that one, although not quite as good looking. It looks a little bit more rushed, but it still looks interesting at times, I would say. And it's really bloody, of course. Lots of red pixels going all over the place.
Yeah, it's definitely got a certain vibe, almost like a 70s, 60s, I don't know, what you'd say, like Iron Wolf and Cub, something along those lines, like those sort of
very Hong Kong bloody, sort of,
yeah, samurai sort of movies.
I reckon also the blood sort of reminded me a bit of like Time Killers. Sort of, I don't know. It felt like a bit of Time Killers in there.
A bit of Time Killers, and shame there's no removing of limbs, especially of limbs. Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. At least I didn't see any.
No, not during the match anyway.
And it's interesting to see the characters in the game are often based on like Japanese mythological creatures or like some historical characters from Japanese history. So that is pretty interesting.
Yes,
like the Goemon character is apparently based on a Robin Hood-like character.
Yes, a living famous thief.
Who apparently met a very grisly end. He was boiled alive, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you really did your research. Wow.
He and his son was boiled alive due to a failed assassination attempt on some high-up lord or something. I'm not entirely sure, but rather gruesome indeed.
It has a very Japanese theatrical vibe to it, I think.
And I did a little bit of digging on the cutting room floor, and there's apparently traces of 7 more characters that were supposed to be in the game, but for some reason weren't included. It's just by names. There weren't any graphics or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
But 7 more characters, and one of them supposedly was called Ryu.
Okay.
It would have been interesting to see what Capcom would have thought about that.
And this game was apparently, according to Game Machine, the Japanese arcade magazine, it was the 17th most successful table arcade unit of the month in, September 1994. So, decently successful, I would assume.
17th,
Maybe
wow.
I
not.
think that means pretty average. If it was only for 1 month that it was up there, probably pretty.
And it was probably
standard.
18 that month.
I don't know who actually designed the game. It seems it may have been a collective effort. All the devs probably contributed because there's no director or designer. But I do know that the programmer, Naoki Hoshizaki, actually also worked on Psychic 5. So that's kind of interesting. Which was a Jaleco game developed by, I think, Nihon Mikom Kaihatsu. Otherwise, a lot of the people that worked, of course, on this game also worked on Shogun Warriors, which is not surprising at all.
No, not at all.
Given how similar the games are.
I mean, it's good at least that we do know who most of the developers are, even if we don't know exactly what they did, because that's not always the case with Japanese games, especially not fairly obscure ones like this one.
And, music by Tatsuya Watanabe, I think at least. Been working on quite a few other games. Shogun Warriors, not surprising, and Bonk's Adventure, the arcade version.
Oh, wow.
The best version.
And more importantly, Gal's Panic.
Yes.
Awesome.
95.
Probably Kaneko's most famous contribution to the world of arcades.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yes,
Yeah.
the world of art. All right, are we ready to do some gameplay?
Let's rock and roll.
I reckon so. So I managed to get 2 playthroughs of this game. I mean, you can see the various characters here, and you can see how kind of strange they look. And I think particularly the one in the middle, I think is the one that everyone has to go through first. I don't know if you guys did the same.
I did, yes.
I mean, he's got a turtle shell, and he's a duck. So, yeah.
I think it's called a kappa from Japanese
kappa.
mythology. It's also known as a river boy. Yeah, kappa.
Yeah, and then you get the character, and they kind of play like Dao Sim, don't they?
Yeah, they do,
All the
yeah.
stretchy arms and so forth. And they've got like kind of squeaky. I mean, it almost sounds like they're saying Yoshi as well. So you get like the first fight here. This one seems to always be the first fight, don't they? Arashi. You can see just how much blood there is. Like, even like the dizzy animations are just bloody as hell. It's all
I found the frame rate really good, though.
Yeah, frame rate was
Like
pretty much solid, consistent throughout.
It's really, there's a lot of frames in there.
Yeah, much smoother than Shogun Warriors, which was kind of choppy.
And yeah, it seems like this game has a mechanic which kind of reminds me of Shaq Fu, weirdly enough.
Yes.
The like fury meter, I guess you would call it. The more you get hit, the more you seem to have about 3 separate stages for your special attacks. See how Arashi kicks my ass on that one, and so the more you battle the opponent, the more they can potentially come back with like furious attacks. And that really seems.
Oh yeah, I had that happen.
That's very noticeable in one of the characters that we're going to see a bit later on, I think. The one with the giant, Frank Sidebottom type head. Kind of still figuring. I think this was my first try, so I was kind of just happy to get through the first round. And so here we go, first fatality. There you go. Bye torso.
Yeah, it was the entire torso, not just the head.
Yeah, the whole lot.
And as we said before, there he is.
That is the best thing about the game is these screens. When they win, I love those pictures. They're great.
Yeah. And so this is the only time I ended up facing Shishimo, who's kind of like an Oni Barber style character, I think you call it, don't you?
Not sure.
I think.
Not sure.
In terms of like the face mask and that they're wearing, he's got some wild elemental type attacks anyway, and he does kind of end up battering me a bit. I tried to use that torpedo attack like way too many times and it never seems to work. And he's also got, he's got the long hair. I mean, there's so many things here that are like familiar, aren't they? Like if you watch like martial arts movies, or even like, I mean, it kind of makes me think of there's that character from Shinobi, isn't it? Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3, with the really long hair. I can't remember what the character's called. I want to say Mandara, but I don't think that's right. But but things like that kind of just seem to be like quite common tropes.
I think he is based on a character called Kabuki from Shogun Warriors as well. So
Kabuki, yes.
Noting.
Kabuki. I think Kabuki's probably more accurate. Yeah, Kabuki, like theatre. I think there's a lot of that in the game. You seems to have a bit of an audience for this fight as well. And there he goes. He's got me.
Wow, he's pretty strong, against you.
He is pretty strong.
But you're doing pretty good.
And then naturally, just reduces me to nothingness.
Your head is still there, though.
The head's still there. I'm still smiling, apparently. I'd like to know
I'm very happy about that.
I'd like to know, like, all the actors who played all these guys. I think that'd be quite fun to see if that's such good. And and you get this jumping skeleton character. I don't know if is this like the end boss, maybe. So I had a bunch of rather unsuccessful playthroughs. And then I did manage to get something with Kasumi here, who's kind of a more ninja-type character, got the claws. Again, got Arashi as the first fight. Seems to always be the case. But I don't think, he's not always on the same stage. I don't know if Arashi...
he's different.
No.
Arashi doesn't... I guess he doesn't have his own stage. I think he actually has... The first fight, weirdly, I think takes place on your stage. Because it seems strange. Because I tried a few of the other characters. I tried the big-headed one. There was another one... I can't quite remember, but this first fight was always on a different stage. So I think by this stage, I just learned to just swarm the opponent as much as possible with attacks. Kind of got a few generic combos going, and it does kind of help that it does tell you what some of their special moves are as well.
I like that.
I mean, the inputs are pretty simple. It's basically it's even more simplified than like Street Fighter 2 inputs, really. Like not even quarter circle. So yes, special moves, generally speaking, not hard to do in this game.
But I did find that they didn't work all the time.
Yeah, sometimes they could be inconsistent, but most of the time I was able to get them off. So here we go. Here's the big-headed fella. Here's Ikkyu.
Yeah.
She just does not look like a fighter.
Oh no, not at all. No. I mean, it's like even more unconventional than something like Clay Fighter, I think. And he's got like lots of his friends as well in the background. I did want to try and get somewhere with Ikkyu, but as like actually playing as him, but I couldn't get past the mirror match. And I'm not sure what because Ikkyu certainly says a lot, and I love his sound when he dies, like
like a sigh, like a monk.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the actor's just really phoning it in or whatever. Yeah, he does seem to. I don't know if he's swearing a lot at you, because all of his attacks are like firing kanji in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really demonstrating here because I am kind of kicking his ass, but there you go. He's got his like torpedo attack. Yeah, I mean, it took a few tries for me to beat Ikkyu. I was just happy to get rid of him at that point and actually see what the third fight was going to be.
She's all happy. She's all happy now.
She's so pleased about that. I was
yes.
And Kinshiro here seems to be like, I guess he's like he's like a guard sort of character, like samurai guard, I guess. I mean, he's got the tonsor. Yeah, all the characters in the background do seem to look like the character you're fighting, like almost exactly. I don't know if they just couldn't get enough actors, so it's like, right, put on another costume, right? Just go. We've only got the budget to hire about 5 people here. I mean, this isn't the most.
There is a special thank you in the credits that mentions some Japanese. I don't know if it's like a group of theatre people or something. So it's possible that they've used them as actors. I don't remember specifically, but it's going to be visible somewhere in the video. It's so interesting to know that sometimes the background characters are much larger or smaller than the one in the foreground in a very weird way. Scaling is not proportional.
Yeah, not at all. I don't know if that's intentional or just slightly. But yeah, I'm really starting to take the piss a bit with the special moves at this stage, I think. Just spamming them, just try and get as far as I can. So now, yeah, 4th round. Unfortunately, I'm now facing her, so we've got the mirror match. And yeah, it's the same stage as the first match, right?
Yeah, that's
the first
right.
one
Yeah,
against
that makes
Arashi.
sense.
So yeah. So I guess that might confirm that Arashi's just some sort of generic nomad Glass Joe type figure, because I never had any trouble beating him. But I did have trouble trying to beat Kasumi here. Kind of kicks my ass first off. There we go.
Yee, that was quick. And damn, she's tiny compared to those guys in the background.
I know, yes. It is weird. Weirdly out of proportion. I mean, I couldn't find any reviews for this game, as you might expect, but
No.
any mention of it really whatsoever, aside from what you said earlier about how it was like number 17 in 1 month in Japan. And I mean, I certainly don't recall ever seeing it in an arcade.
Not here, not even in Australia.
No way. So yeah, Lemira Kasumi did kick my ass completely. But yeah, I got to the 4th round, which not too bad, I suppose.
Fair
For a
effort.
fighting game.
Fair effort.
Yeah. I didn't hate the experience at all. It's got a certain it has a charm to it. It moves nicely. I mean, the graphics are a bit ropey, to say the least. But I have a soft spot sometimes for the digitized games. I really do. Just because it's a road completely just that nothing else really went down after its time was over.
I found this very, very interesting. I did have a few goes before recording, so I could not just suck completely. And
Wise move.
But yeah, I picked. I did okay with this, what's it, Sanpei?
Sanpei,
Yeah.
Actually, I think I did try with Benki once, but yeah, wasn't able to get used to him. Kind of more of a power character.
Yeah. Those pants are powerful, not to be joked around with. God, does he do anything with those pants? Like, is there something coming out of them that? Not that I'm suggesting anything rude, but is there a reason?
Maybe
What's he got?
Maybe he holds that. Well, he holds that massive ball in him.
Oh yeah, of course. You're right. Silly me.
He's only got one. He's only got one in his trousers.
Yeah.
Only one ball.
It's very MC Hammer. Man, that face. It cracks me up.
Only a duck could love that face.
Oh, jeez. But I did find the collision detection to be a bit iffy sometimes, though.
Yeah, sometimes special moves were like that. Sometimes it was like I swore I hit them, but it just seemed to miss, and they didn't seem to be blocking.
I found it hard to do blocking in this game. I just would miss time after time. But I'm useless at fighting games. I'm sorry to say. So.
They'll say you just have to hold back, Mats.
I know, and I tried, and I failed consistently.
But I find the computer player, it sort of predicts what you're going to do sometimes, and it kind of annoys me.
I imagine this is the sort of game that's going to get really cheap later on.
Oh yeah,
If you've got that far.
Yeah.
Yeah, by this time I'm like, okay, just die. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, she just seems to be predicting everything you do. It has to be said.
Good work. Then you slap your bum.
Yeah.
Slap your buttocks.
In your face.
Yep.
Actually, there's a lot of actually, swear the ninja guy who you faced the first round. I swear when he actually pointed at his ass when he won.
Did he?
Yes.
It is
So
interesting.
There's a lot of
I did not notice that.
arse-based action in this game, I guess.
Arse focus.
Look at that, wrecked me.
Well,
destroyed me.
These are the guys behind Gal's Panic. So
I picked, how do you pronounce that again?
Arashi.
From memory, I think I did well in this one. But look, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah, that's strange.
Yeah. That's what I mean by the collision detection. It was really weird for me.
No, yeah, I think I noticed a similar thing happening because I tried this one too, and I was like, why is my massive shuriken going past them?
Past, yeah. It's a freaky character, that Ikkyo, whatever his name is.
Ikkyo, yeah, I imagine
Ikkyo.
Yeah.
I think his head grows when he headbutts, and also his feet and hands get large when he punches you. That's pretty
That's
nice
true.
little
Yes.
touch. a bit like Battletoads version.
Yeah. Giant comedy fist.
Look at those fingers. Wow.
So I'm thinking I'm going to win this. And then that's it.
And then,
Look at
yeah,
that. Look how much power that took off.
Eat kanji.
you can tell
That
it was.
was-
Yeah, that was like a max power one because
Yeah.
you'd beaten him up so much.
God.
So he just took off like half your health bar with one go.
Insane. Yeah, no, that is insane.
Smug bastard.
That's it, yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Is that a bazooka or a chain gun? I'm not sure.
I know, but the girl at the back
was
looks
over
pretty happy
quickly.
about it. Doesn't
Yeah,
dead.
so pleased. It's not much of an audience, to be fair, is it? There's like 4 people.
No,
there.
it's not. Look at that. Killed him.
Nice.
Destroyed
There you
him.
go. Almost
Yeah.
perfect.
Wow.
Like, I actually think there is a good game here. Not great, but it's not all bad.
No, it could be far worse.
I think it's better than the Jackie Chan game, if I'm honest.
That's
Jackie Chan
terrible.
game.
I haven't
is
played that one.
awful.
It is.
It's,
Oh, bloody hell. Ouch.
look at that.
Whoa, that's gruesome.
You got Kun Loud.
That's it, pretty much, yeah,
Whoa.
with hair.
And yeah, I did not go for Duckface. I went with Kazumi. Because again, I don't know why. I just did. I like the claws. Something about that made me, get filled with promise. And feel
Yeah,
that I could
makes-
do it.
Makes you think that, maybe got a Vega thing going on. Or
Yeah.
a matador, whatever you would want to call.
And I
she is an
did
effective
decently well.
character.
This is my first attempt. Pardon?
She is an effective character, though.
She is, yeah. I felt like character selection was quite important for an
Yeah.
unexperienced player like me. And again, if people haven't heard this, I'm not a fighting game fan. I don't play them very often, and I'm really crap at them. So I'm not really the right person to judge this. But that being said, I still found this quite enjoyable in a weird way. I don't know
Nice.
exactly why, but yeah, it's actually went surprisingly well. I like the claws.
Do you do any
That's why
special
I
moves,
win.
though?
No, I couldn't really figure them out, and this is, first time I played, so I'm just trying to figure out what button is the most powerful.
Yeah. Because you get,
And
you
then
only get,
spam the crap
you only
out of
get
that.
4 attack buttons.
I do love the blood all over the place. Kind of lingers.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
Oh god, yeah, that was...
Yeah, you see, you undersell yourself, Mats. You undersell yourself. See how good you are?
And I still haven't quite figured out what button
No,
combo
you
does what here. As
kinda
you can
got-
clearly see.
A couple special moves going. But even like the basic attacks seem to produce just tons of blood. Like that classic theatrical spray.
This guy's on fire. And yeah,
you
I
got
lost that
problem
one.
You got
Oh, it's
bombed.
close.
I had a fondness for trying to jump all the time, which kind of started to punish me right around now because the computer again is foreseeing me doing that and just countering me. But Mats doesn't learn.
That's advanced AI.
Yes, it is. On my behalf, then, or what? But yeah, it is enjoyable and weird, and I did find the graphics kind of a mixed bag. They are interesting, yet sometimes a bit weird. It does have a little bit of a rushed feel to it, like the visuals were. I mean, it takes
Yeah.
a long time doing this back then, of course. So, but I have a feeling they weren't allowed to really put in that final amount of time
Polish.
to just polish this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I reckon no. Yeah, I reckon you're right there. I don't think there's not a huge amount of budget to something like this. It's like we want. It's
No.
like we want a game that's like a fighting game. We want it to be like Street Fighter, but we also want it to be like Mortal Kombat. We're going to have digitized characters and fatalities. You've got 3 months. Come on, go
Yeah.
and get on with it.
Yeah.
We want it to be like every other fighting game at the time, and preferably a couple of ones from the future as well. If you can foresee the future, please go ahead.
It is a game that's kind of trying to appease to everyone, like both clearly,
Yeah.
both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat camps.
Look at that.
There you
Far
go.
out, Mats.
Sorted out Arashi.
Yeah, I made it.
I do find it funny, and it's going to sound funny coming from me because I love my Street Fighter and the moves and stuff, but I can tell you're just button mashing, and it's funny.
Yeah, you can. I'm not surprised because I am.
Yeah, no, I think button mashing is a very valid tactic.
Yeah, he's just let's just push buttons and see what happens.
But I did have some, control issues as well. Sometimes it wouldn't respond. Did you get that too? I mean, it could be that I'm in an animation, it's not responding because of that. I don't know, but otherwise the controls felt decent though.
I did get it every now and then where it seemed to get a bit unresponsive.
I think I would have been pretty impressed by this back in 93, 94.
Yeah.
Especially if I hadn't seen Mortal Kombat. So I would have probably gone, wow, this is pretty cool.
You need to block, Mats.
Oh,
I know!
There you go. You see, there you go. He's pointing his thumb at his ass.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
He's happy.
I have to do the duck.
The Dalsim duck.
Otherwise, we haven't played this.
Yeah,
Dalsim the duck, yeah.
Dalsim duck.
Oh, no, I didn't. I went with the
Oh, no, you went
samurai.
with the Tonsho.
And I hate Ikkyo. I really, really hate him so much. If it's a he or a she, I don't know, and I don't care. It deserves death.
It deserves death.
For its relentless kanji spam.
Yes, kanji spam is the worst. I kind of want to translate the kanji, but I haven't had time, so I might do that at some point just to, if it's just insults or swear words, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to think. That's just like insults and profanities, which it probably is.
Your dad is a duck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you got your revenge. There you go.
I did get him. I did get to punish him once. And see, I'm not pointing at my arse. I'm just doing a pose.
Yeah.
See?
No, much more dignified fighter than the rest.
Mats is dead again.
Yeah.
Yes, again.
Yeah,
But I
again.
didn't do too bad, guys, did I? I did all
wasn't
right.
too bad.
You
It
won
wasn't too
a
bad.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering
That's
that it's me, you have to take that into account.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
That's it.
Yeah, I am. I'm all about gals panic.
Panic.
Get all the way to the end on that one credit.
Of course. Only the end boss is good enough for me.
Well done, mate. Well done.
But
Thank you. So, a quick look at the tech side of things, just because that's what we usually do at this point. The game is running at a resolution of 320 by 240 at 60 hertz. A nice, even 60 hertz. Surprising, I know, but yeah. And it's, of course, using, as was often the case, a Motorola MC68000 at 16 megahertz, which I think was used very often in games from this time, and I'm sure there's tons of support chips as well with sprites and whatnot. And it's got mono audio, and control-wise it's got up to 2 players, and it's using 8 ways, joysticks, and 4 buttons for each player. So pretty standard stuff, really.
it's sort of game that you'd imagine probably didn't have too many like dedicated cabinets.
Nah.
You might expect to be more kit.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably, yeah. There were dedicated cabs for it. You kind of get the feeling that they didn't have, as you said, Kim, a ton of money for this one. They just get it out there and then, get it out
100%.
there.
Sure, yeah.
It's not polished whatsoever. It's not.
No. Should we do a little bit of, some ratings and talk a bit how we felt about the game more specifically? So let's start with Kim. Spill the beans.
Sure. I would say that as far as Kaneko's fighting games go and their games in general, I'd say this is pretty decent for them. I mean, some of their games do have their charm, but then some of the games are also pretty poor. But as far as the fighting games goes, I mean, I have a soft spot for the digitized style. I thought the characters were suitably freaky. Certainly a better playing game, I think, than their Jackie Chan one, which probably had a lot more money spent on it, but was just not one at all for me. I didn't hate it. I would give it a nice. I think it's a good, solid 3 gears out of 5 with flying colours.
I went in when Kim suggested this. I'm like, okay, this looks really bad, but it wasn't too bad. It does feel cheap. It does feel a bit, maybe a little. It's unpolished, but it is one of the company's, say, better games. But they did do DJ Boy, which I did enjoy, and they did Airbuster, which is a good shmup. So yeah, it's one of their better games, and I'll go back to it on occasion. I think just because there is a good game there, and like Kim, I'll give it three gears. I think 3 is fair.
And I was a bit skeptical too, because Daz sent me a picture on Twitter with this guy with the huge pants. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I'd never heard of this one before, so I was very skeptical. And as I've said a number of times, I don't particularly like fighting games. So I went into it with a very skeptical approach. But yeah, it's not half bad. It's decent. I would say I had some fun with it. Didn't expect to. Yeah, it feels rushed, but it's a decent amount of fun. Not sure what's going to happen later on. I'm pretty sure, as we said, the game's going to get horrifically cheap and difficult. But hey, to start off with, I had fun with it, and I'm going to give it 3 gears out of 5 as well.
There you go.
Sounds pretty fair.
All agreed. I think it'd be a good laugh in 2-player as well. Especially if you've got 2 players who just want to have a good laugh at something like this. Maybe if they're kind of familiar with the sort of stuff that this is clearly trying to riff off of.
And there is worse fighters out there. So I mean,
way worse.
Time Killers is one of them.
Absolutely.
That just I remember playing that for the first time in the arcades. I can't believe they actually had a dedicated cab here in Australia, and I was blown away. I go, this is awesome. And then I remember I was on that for a good 20 minutes, but it got boring and frustrating really quickly. So then I realised, I don't like this game, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've got much more to say about Blood Warrior. Any closing statements?
Thanks to Kim for joining us, I guess. And you want to quickly tell us about your channel?
Okay, so I do various things, I guess, mostly retro game documentaries and companies. I also have a wrestling a bit on the side. Generally also a lot of UK culture, TV stuff, pop culture, that tends to be flicked through everything. I stream on Twitch as well. I arse around on Twitter.
I'll put some link in the description. Well, thanks for joining us then, and and thanks, Daz, for fighting some ducks.
Thank you. I was happy to.
A duck's facing.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.